And the Giants signed Willie Adames early. It's been almost a month, December 10th. There hasn't been any moves since then. A lot of fans have been upset that there's nothing happened since then. And what we're hearing is, at least from the press, that it's not for lack of effort. The Giants were trying to get Tucker. They were also in on the trade for the Garrett Crochet, who ended up with Boston.
Yep.
How difficult is it if your farm system does it come down to that it's just like, if I would imagine it comes down to that, if a team likes what you have more than what they can get somewhere else, they're going to take your deal.
No doubt. And the free agent thing, we've talked about this too on earlier shows. The Giants need to become a destination again. And having Buster in charge certainly helps quite a bit, but they need to become a destination, no other way to say it. And they have to be the team that people want to play for. Got a beautiful ballpark, great city, great fan base. But players if players are born on the East Coast or born in Latin America, you're going a long way. Your family's coming a long way if you're going to play on the West Coast. So if you made the decision that you're going to play on the West Coast, well, you know where you're starting.
Right. Another question for you. What the Dodgers are doing, some people say it's bad for baseball. They don't like the fact that they're getting everybody and they're spending money. I personally think, I look at it different, but I'm probably more old school. I think it's good because I think it pushes other teams to compete and get better. What's your thought on that, with the Dodgers spending as much as they are and deferring contracts and seemingly have an endless budget?
Well, they're not breaking any rules. And if you expect, are you going to ask a team to play 7 innings, not 9? Are you going to ask a team to compete for, 7, not 9? You're going to ask a boxer in a 15-round, 12-round match to just fight for 10 or 11? No. You expect your teams to go all in and to do to compete for a championship. And that they do that, it's not shame on them. I think it's shame on those who question them for doing that. And I think while it may spur some teams to spend more, I don't know that it spurs that many. Is Colorado going to change their philosophy? You've already brought up San Diego. Are they going to suddenly throw another $50 million in to their payroll because the Dodgers have done what the Dodgers have done? The Giants, maybe. But I don't know that teams look at it that way. I think they expect their baseball people to sign and develop good players and to be able to compete. And they leave it to them. They don't want to leave it to the banker to make them a competitive team. Most want to leave it to the front office and your scouting and player development people to give yourself a chance. So, there's been a lot of teams that have had chances for a long time and they still sit in idle. They sit in 4th or 5th place. So, I don't see anything wrong with it. And they're not breaking any rules.
Something I don't quite understand, because what I looked at the other day and I saw this, what the Dodgers did by signing the kid Kim from Korea. And I thought, and then they've signed Snell and they're still looking at Sasaki. The more depth you can add to a team, it opens up, one, it gives you security if something goes wrong, but 2, it allows you to make trades to replenish and keep the system growing.
Absolutely.
And that's what they did today with Lux. They got this kid, I'm forgetting his name. I did a video on him already, but he was a 3rd-round pick. The Dodgers picked him up in 21 out of high school in the 16th round. He chose to go to college, I believe, Northeastern. Reds drafted him last year in the 24 draft this past summer, 3rd round. He's supposed to be good bat-to-ball skills, quick bat, speed, some power. And, he's 21, So you get him, and then you get the 37th pick approximately from the competitive balance pick. That's at the end of the first, top of the second round.
Yep.
Now you're just going to, okay, let's develop a couple more guys and just keep the system going. I don't understand why teams don't do this. It's just beyond me. I've said this story before, Ned. I wasn't I played ball. I wasn't a great player. I was a good ball player, but I was drafted at 9 years old in the majors. And the manager that I happened to have had a system. In fact, he learned it from the Dodgers. He drafted 3 or 4 9-year-olds every year, and he just groomed us for a couple years. And then by the time we were 11 and 12, we were the top of the team, and then he just keep doing it instead of getting all these 11, 12-year-olds that you're good one year, and then you got to, and so he just built this that way. And that's what I see the Dodgers doing with their farm system. They just build, replenish. Tampa Bay's pretty good at it. A couple of other teams, but I don't see why teams just don't try to model that instead of trying to do it differently.
They'd love to model that. Everybody will tell you, every time there's a new general manager hired, that's what they always say. This is how we're going to do it. And 90% of them never do it. But again, you go back to a team that's got the financial wherewithal and the hunger for success that they call up young players, and they don't expect they expect the young players to play hard and to play smart. They don't expect them to carry them. So the whole acclimation process and playing in the big leagues is not easy, especially for a full season, especially in front of 40, 50,000 a night, all those things. So again, their whole system is so thick that it gives everybody ample opportunity to grow and have expectation, but a different type of expectation. I've been on your shows for a couple of years, you and Larry Krueger, and you guys have talked a lot about the Giants farm system and the young pitching. How hard is it? Where are they? Where are they? Are they all there? Are some there? Have some not fulfilled the expectation that the media or podcast world had for them? None of the stuff is easy. But when you ask less of people, and you've got a good system to begin with in your development and how you develop, and you ask less, you've got a chance to get what you expect and prosper with it. It's all the same, under the same umbrella to me. Their depth allows them to do so many things. Some teams play for a great start. We got to have a great April. Dodgers don't have a great April. They can wait. They don't have to push anybody back injury wise. They don't have to put anybody in there that's finicky health wise. They can just wait.
Right.
They got it going. They got it going.
Yes, they do. What teams right now, as you look at the landscape of baseball, everything's not settled yet until spring training finishes, and things could change even then. But as you look at the landscape right now, obviously the Dodgers are the team to beat. What team can knock them off? Anybody can knock anybody off in a series. I understand that, but what team do you think legitimately has a fighter's chance at knocking them out?
Maybe Philly and the Mets in the National League. Cincinnati's getting better, but are they going to be able to? They could upset the Dodgers, but it would be an upset. San Diego could upset the Dodgers, almost did, but it would be an upset. I think Philly and New York are probably two teams that probably can't compete with them man to man, so to speak, but compete with them pretty well. I think Atlanta, as great as they've been and as good a job as Alex Anthopoulos has done for a long time now, I don't know that they're the same team. They've lost starting pitching. They lost, their big lefty Fried's gone. Are they going to continue to replenish it? Strider's coming back from a big injury. Um, so I think in the National League, the Mets, if the Mets can get off to a good start, the Mets may challenge some, and Philly could challenge some. Dave Dombrowski always does a great job. Um, so, but that's about it in that league. And in
Yeah.
the American League, I think if the Yankees were to add one more bat, um, I
Mm.
think they would have more than replaced Juan Soto.
Yeah, I agree.
I found that team to be, um, I always look at a lineup to see, okay, so how much can they make a pitcher work? How much can they
Wow.
really get into that bullpen, and how much can they get those starting pitchers to have some long, stressful innings? And I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Once you got past 5, maybe 6, it was just mediocre to me. And, I think, Stanton is getting older. He had a really good postseason, but, he doesn't always play 150 games, 145 games. So I think that team is probably going to be better than they were. I think the closer helps them tremendously. I think it does the same thing when we talked about Flaherty pushing your rotation back. You get the closer, you push your bullpen back or up a little bit. Um, Baltimore, I don't know. We'll see how Baltimore does. They're at the stage where they need to take another step.
Mm. How
Cleveland's
much
always good. Chris Antonetti has been doing great work for 20 years probably. But can they compete against the Dodgers? I don't see it. American League West, you know, I don't know. I just don't see it. So I think you got the Yankees, and I think you've got Philly and the Mets probably are the teams that could give the Dodgers the toughest time, barring an upset, barring some team having a great 10 days or a great week.